So welcome all of you to this small session where we are exploring new avenues of insurance billing methodologies. So basically, with every method process where there is a huge process involved, new business techniques and ideas come in, and there are always a lacuna in the market, a gap in the market where somebody will ensure that lacuna is addressed. So, Mr. Harikrishnan, my namesake, he's one such person who has managed to, start a business structure which is a lot of people are actively utilizing the services of. So, just I just wanted to be aware that how the entire process works. So I thought, instead of me talking about it, why not have Mr. Harikrishnan himself explain his entire process so that anybody who wants to avail his services can always do it without any issues. And it's a pleasure to have him here. And Mr. Harikrishnan is the second or third generation into the insurance field.
Second generation.
So they have a firm called Kartika Insurance Consulting, which is into the sales and this thing. So he understands the industry very well, and he has presently started on an NBFC kind of a structure. So I'll not get into the details of the structure. It's better that Mr. Harikrishnan himself brings it out. So over to you, Mr. Harikrishnan. Just start with a small intro of yourself and the
Sure.
background, and then you can take it. And as anybody has got questions, we can take it as it comes.
Definitely. Thanks, Dr. Hari, for this opportunity to share what we do as a process with the fraternity itself. So I would like to start off with a very brief introduction and also a little bit of a story in terms of why we assist and why claim assistance and the entire thing itself. So the thing that you mentioned is my dad started this Kartika insurance way back in 1971, as an agency to be able to support, with the insurance sales itself. And if you say 1971, it's all to do with LIC, and he's still active and he's still is very much involved with the insurance sales business. And one of the things that he always emphasized on was the service part of it. He always knew that there are so many people selling insurance, but what lacked in the market was there's a lot of emphasis when it comes to sales, but when it comes to service, there was not many people who were giving that end-to-end service, because a lot of the people were not full-time insurance professionals. They were part-timers, and so that was one of the core issues when it came into the industry itself. But in my eyes, when father brought a lot of professionalism into the whole insurance sales and insurance agent itself, he could make a place for himself in the industry. And of course, my brother also got into the industry back in 95. And for me, 1998, even before the privatization, is when first time I got into the insurance sales. And the first interface was with New India as a general insurance agent. And now I've got more than 26 years of active working experience in the industry. So what I always say, Dr. Hari, is that I've seen when the insurance New India policies, which was like 5,000, 10,000 was the highest sum insured that was available in the 90s, and back in the day, nobody knew about cashless claim. It was only reimbursement. We used to pick up the documents from the customers after the hospitalization is done, and we used to go and hand it over to the divisional office, and there used to be a clerk who used to check everything, and then they would send it to the RO for approval if it is a higher value, or if it is their divisional value, they would approve it themselves. They would write a check and they would give it to us, and we used to go and hand this check back to the client. So that is the most native or the initial stage in which a claim was getting processed. back in 2014, 15, there was one thing which is always troubling me is like, now you know that insurance sale is happening across many channels. And the most prominent channels are the banker, and of course the digital sales. So what happens, there's a lot of emphasis on selling, people go end up buying the policy. But unfortunately, when they go in for a claim, is when they face a lot of issues, a lot of hassles. I'm not saying that, getting the claim is difficult, but what I'm saying is that probably understanding that and be able to get it done seamlessly is definitely an issue when it comes to especially senior citizens and people who have kind of a complex policies in those cases. So a lot of the people were reaching out to me back in 15, 16 and asking me for my assistance, if I could help them understand how it works, or if I could help them to, process, assist them in getting the claims done. And I used to do it as well. And that's when I felt that, there's a whole lot of opportunity because the hospitals are very much focused in providing the best of the medical care for the patients, but it is not their domain expertise when it comes to how insurance operates. So that's where I felt that, with my 20, 25 years of experience, I can come in with a solid robust team and be able to assist hospitals in being able to manage claims. So this is one of the reasons why the entire VSS came into picture. And today I'll tell you what is a change in how we are operating is we brought in a lot of technology in and the innovation that is into the market. So our platform is able to give a lot of solutions to the hospitals. So a lot of the data, which is missing otherwise, because what happens is that when you're doing a lot of manual process, at the end of the day, you're very much dependent only on your Excels to know what is your outstandings, and how much of approvals have been done, how many payments to be received from the insurance. So now with our Okta platform under VSS, we are able to give a very seamless solution to the hospitals itself. And the other very important thing that we're seeing is that, from a hospital point of view, today we have about 140,000 hospitals across countries, what my rough estimate is, out of which around 40,000 odd hospitals are listed on Rohini. So if you take any insurance company, TPA, you will not see more than 5,000-6,000 hospitals which are actively in the part of the network itself. And you have to be definitely part of the network. Only then you will be able to get a cashless facility from the insurance company. But in those cases, what happens is that a lot of the patients who have to go in for a reimbursement claim, have to take a higher burden in terms of the amounts that they have to pay upfront to the hospitals. In those scenarios, we have come up with a very, very simple solution with our NBFC partners, as Dr. Hari mentioned, where with our understanding, we are able to extend medical loans for people availing, hospitalization expenses who already have insurances on hand. So with the understanding that the insurances are payable, a reimbursement claim can be put in. And the reimbursement claim, the only hindrance here is that the money might take, say, 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, depending on the insurance company, TPA, in terms of processing TAT and the entire thing, which is very good in the market these days, what I see, And so it's a short-term funding arrangement, you can say, or a short-term loan that you can say, which can be extended to the patient so that they don't end up spending money from their pocket immediately. And once they get their claim settlement from the insurance company, they end up paying the NBFC. So it is an alternative to using your credit card. If you use your credit card, you never know when your billing cycle is, and you're again fixated that once the bill comes and you have to immediately pay. Here, you don't have that sword on your head. At least you will get the time as a leeway in terms of the claim settlement to being able to pay the loan and close the loan itself. So that is an understanding that we have now got from the, by the way of understanding the process itself, and we are able to ascertain at two steps, step one and step two, and by what do you say, studying the final bill, ascertaining to the extent of what could be payable. To that extent,
I just mute others. Yeah.
no problem. To that extent, we are able to extend the medical loan, and this is actually becoming very, very helpful, especially for small, medium size hospitals where instant funding is made available through VS system.
So, sir, interrupting there. So now you have told us the structure in a larger sense. Okay. Now understand our audience. Okay. Our audiences are those people who in small, medium to small hospitals, uh, medium to small hospitals, who do not have an insurance empanelment, cashless agreement with an insurance company. Okay, and a patient suddenly comes, and the hospital end up losing that patient because that hospital does not have a cashless tie-up with the insurance company. Presently, this cashless everywhere has come, but notwithstanding that fact, I would like you to describe that if there is a hospital A and a patient comes to that hospital with an insurance card of an insurance company XYZ. So what is the process ahead that in case once the hospital ties up with you, then what is the process ahead on the ground?
See, if you ask me, it's a very, very simple process, and we have kept it extremely simple. See, what we look at is from an NBFC standpoint, it's a non-collateral based loan. So we are not looking at any bank statements, salary slips, and all those things are irrelevant. I think if you can.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that we need is a very basic KYC documents from the patient side, and the medical documents from the hospital side, because we need to ensure two things. We need to ensure that what we are saying medically, it is payable or not. That's something which our expertise we look at and say that yes, this is a medically payable. And secondly, what we look at is that once the person gets the money, see, the most important thing is that the score also has to be good, because once the person gets the money, he has to return the money back. So these are the two things that we ideally we need to do as an initial check, and basis this, if we are convinced that both these things are true, then we give a go ahead saying that we will be able to take this case and we will be able to fund the case once the procedure is completed. So that is the arrangement that we do. And today I'll tell you, Dr. Hari, what we have done is that we have created an SSR, which we call it the self-servicing request, which is going to be on our app itself, where the customer at any particular hospital using the QR code from the hospital will be able to place a request on our platform. Basis the request that comes in, and we will be able to give the visibility in terms of how many requests has come from the particular hospital to the hospital as well. And we will be able to process and give very, very fast approvals in terms of the process itself.
So basically, what I understand is that if a patient comes to a hospital with an insurance card and the hospital is not covered for cashless, what you're doing is your company is actually paying to the hospital on behalf of the patient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, at the end of the day,
so the hospital gets paid immediately.
Of course, see, I'll tell you this one very important point here that everybody has to understand is that in an insurance claim, until and unless the payment is not done to the hospital, the patient has no right to go for reimbursement. A customer cannot go for a reimbursement until unless he has made a payment to the hospital. So here, the customer has made the payment to the hospital. The only difference is that instead of making a direct payment, he has taken a loan. So nobody says that you cannot take a loan to make a payment.
Okay.
So that is the only difference that we are talking about. So the minute the payment has been done to the hospital, then the hospital will be in a position to then give the what do you say, payment receipt and the entire thing. So the entire circle gets completed.
Okay. So the hospital issues the bill, and after
Of
that,
course.
so the patient has not paid out of his pocket.
Correct.
Now, here in this situation, your company, We Assist, is going to process the entire reimbursement and follow it up.
Sir, we are only going to assist. Let us be very clear.
No,
See,
no,
at
no,
the
no,
end
I
of
know, I know.
yeah,
So,
yeah, we are not an insurance company. We are not a TPA. So we have no authority, no power to process any claims.
no,
Okay.
you are not processing the claim. So the thing is, what you will do is you are going to assist the patient to claim, process the reimbursement claim.
Absolutely. See, what the patient requires is that at the end of the day, I'll tell you, sir. See, basically, as we are partnering with the hospitals, correct? So we are an extended arm of the hospital. We are a third party for the, service provider to the hospital. So basically, what we are helping the hospital to understand is that we know that claim form is required. We know that the discharge summary is required. We know that if the invoice copy is required, or so we know what are the documents that is required, so which can be handed over to the patient in one set. So that when the patient submits, he should ideally not get any, more queries from the hospital. Sorry, from the insurance company. And even if they get a query also, they should not get hassled how to answer that query. Most of the time, the patients don't know how to answer the query. They keep running around. So in those cases also, we can help and support the patient in terms of understanding what the query is. Is it something which they have to answer, or is it something which the hospital has to answer? Then we can help in assisting with the entire. See, our entire thing is that the place where people get stuck when they need an expert advice, we as a team can give them expert advice.
So now you are saying that you are extending a medical loan to the patient so that he can clear see, that's how the structure is, right?
Correct.
So that you are extending a medical loan to the patient and paying that loan amount to the hospital.
Correct.
So it is something like a person applying for housing loan, and that bank is disbursing that loan directly to the builder.
Absolutely. It's something very similar. Yeah.
So here now, now the patient technically has cleared the bill because he has taken up the ownership of that bill, and you have cleared the bill on the behalf of the patient. Patient is payable to you that amount, right?
Not to
Now,
me, to my NBFC. Yeah.
yeah, your NBFC. Now my question is, the entire reimbursement process is complete, and patient gets the amount, after 10 days. And the moment the patient gets the amount, he just transfers that to Google Pay to somebody else, and the account is again empty. How do you deal with these kind of losses?
See, in any kind of funding, you ask me, be it home loan or car loan or personal loan, the risk is always there.
Okay.
See, that's why
So
we do
that
all
risk
the
is
bureau.
absorbed by you, basically.
That risk is something which, as a NBFC, as a lending aggregator, or whichever way you put it, that's something which my NBFCs understand, or what we understand as a business model. But what we have seen is that we've had extremely good experience, because these are like and these are not very high value amounts either. And it is not against something which they're getting and they are repaying it. So it is not something looked at as a high risk kind of a scenario as of now, what we look at. But with more cases we'll be able to understand. But we, as of now, if you ask me, since 2022 we've had a very good experience so far.
Okay. So here the hospital is not responsible for anything.
Hospital cannot be responsible, no, sir. Because why will the hospital be responsible? See, this is a loan. Like, for example, now let me like, now with this one, we're getting a little overwhelmed. Like, say, for example, I as a patient come to you, doctor, and I come and swipe my credit card. As per your POS machine, the credit card is approved. You get the money from the credit card company, and tomorrow, if I don't pay the credit card bill, will the credit card company come and catch you for the amount?
No, they cannot.
That is exactly the point here. You're getting my point, right? So it is a loan. Credit card is also a loan. You're getting my point. So
So,
it is a
so in credit card, what is happening is the credit card company is, okay. So, there is one question. Is there any interest patient has to pay from the date of disbursement, payment to hospital or admin charges, processing fee, etc.? Processing fees is one question that one doctor is asking.
No, see, basically, what the way you look at it is that, you have the no cost EMI kind of a product in the market. When you go to buy an iPhone to anything, right? It is a no cost, and from a patient point of view, it is absolutely a no cost product to the patient. Because at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is that that the patient should not end up paying anything additional over and above what he is already billed for. That's what we are looking at. Of course, there will be a certain extent as a merchant here. From a service provider, like how a merchant, it could be a Panasonic or it could be an LG, or how they take a hit. It'll be that small hit which will be at the merchant here. The merchant is nothing but the hospital. So the hospital takes that small hit in terms of helping that patient not going through the trouble at the end of the day. Even with the POS machine, doctor, even today when you swipe a credit card, you lose 2%. Correct. It's something which everybody is aware of.
See, sir,
Yeah.
When you are entering into a cashless agreement with the insurance company, also you extend a discount of 10 to 15% in the
That's
bill.
right.
So,
Correct, sir.
So here, what you're offering is that even if you don't you will not lose patience because of this. Because although there is, how is the general documentation part? Like if somebody wants to be on board and use your VSS services, so how would that process be?
It's a very simple process. For us, we just need to first we need to do a little due diligence on the hospital side. One of the things that we are trying to really, really emphasize, and we were putting as a do for us, is that we want to ensure that the best of the quality healthcare get onto our platform. So we do the due diligence, we assess the hospital, and we look at all the documentation so that they are in line with what insurance companies look at as a hospital as a definition. And of course the ROINI IDs, and then the registrations, the doctors, we do a little bit of a check around the entire thing. And today, the hospital should not be blacklisted by any insurance company or TPA. For all those things, we will take a little time. But after that, everything is clear. We onboard the patient on our platform. The hospital on our platform, and then the hospital can start sending the cases to us, and we will be able to support them from day one itself.
Okay. So here, done. So as of now, sir, see, the system is something which I can understand very well. But what happens is a lot of doctors at many places, even in tier 1 cities, are not aware of what are the options available. Okay. So this is one option that a lot of hospitals which I know are using. So that's the reason I decided to get Mr. Harikrishnan on board, so that there's a clarity for all, and they can always refer back. Dr. Vinit sir, we have been in touch for quite some time now, sir.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So, sir, you're empaneled with insurance companies for cashless and all now?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay. So I think
yes. I'm in Mumbai, practicing in Mumbai.
Sir.
So still a lot of us are not yet doing.
Okay. So do you
Where in Mumbai, sir?
Borivali.
Borivali. Okay.
So do you get cases which comes to you, and after that, you counsel them for surgery, and later they don't turn up because they have an insurance and they got it done somewhere else, kind of thing?
There must be a few patients who definitely go away because of that.
Okay. So,
definitely.
So basically, what I understand is that with Mr. Harikrishnan's structure, how it goes, that it helps you reduce those kind of leakage, basically.
Yes.
But one thing I think, as far as I understand, if a hospital has got a cashless agreement with the insurance company, then we assist is not going to be a part of it, right?
Mhm.
No, sir. No, because if you have a direct tie-up, we always, we tell the hospital that they have to do a direct process.
So now one burning question. Okay.
No, no. Yeah.
Now, see,
Sir, I would like to ask one question. Like in between, there was Pristine Care, if you know, and sir must be knowing my issue that once I did work with Pristine Care for about 3 months, and they were handling the insurance of the patients. I am not empaneled anywhere,
Hmm.
and in that process, I don't know what they did, but my hospital got blacklisted for a few months by Care Insurance. And I came to know about 1 year after I stopped working in Pristine Care. But finally, when they removed my name, my hospital's name from the blacklisting, they got me into writing that you won't operate over any patients through any third party. Means the insurance should not be handled by any third party or something. They wanted in writing. So does your assistance come in that category, or it is all legal, all fine? There is no problem in that.
See, I'll explain to you, sir. I'll explain to you in a very, very basic manner. See, Pristine Care brings their own patients, and they use hospital as a place where they come and do surgery. They only create the bills, they do everything. We Assist is not into that kind of work at all.
Okay.
We don't have any patients. We are
Okay.
not into a hospital aggregator. We don't do any of those things. And first, one more very important thing I'll tell you, sir, we don't do the billing. Billing is done by the hospital. Discharge summary is done by the hospital. We don't get into any of those things.
Okay.
Only we do is we give you assistance. Once you give us the bill and the discharge summary, we can make an assumption and ascertain that, okay, as per this, okay, to this extent, it might be payable. We make an assumption. Basis that, we extend the funding for it. We might be right or we might be wrong. In many cases, we are wrong also. So that is when we tell the patient also very clearly, this is only an assumptive way of doing it. We are extending your medical loan. We are hoping that whatever we have extended, you should get more than that. Even if you get less than that, you are liable to pay the full money back to our NBFC. You get my point.
Yes.
So it is a very clear cut.
So patient still has to go through that, has to provide all the documents like in a reimbursement case. Patient will go and
absolutely
everything. Okay.
It is,
They only
it's
get
an
your
absolute.
funding. Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely reimbursement claim only, sir. You have to do the
Yes.
whole process. It is only
Okay.
that one thing is that they will also have an assistant in Hari. Like how you have Alexa or Siri or whatever you call it. They can call out and say, Hari, I'm getting stuck here. Can you help me? Or I'll tell them what to do. Or no, I need this from doctor. I don't know if I need it from Dr. Vineet or I need it from somebody else. Then I can come back to you and say, sir, I think they need this letter from your side. So you will prepare the letter. You might ask me any other doubt is there. So I can only add value to you in all those things.
Okay.
But I have got nothing to do with Pristine Care kind of operations, or I've got nothing to do with any of the other way of operations, because we are not into the business of bringing in patients, first of all.
Okay.
Either will I send patients to you or I will take your patients. No, I am not at all into that space. It is your business, it's your patients. You're only using it as a advisory kind of a services and funding, because now suddenly a surgery is coming, it's going to cost 1 lakh of rupees. The patient does not have immediately 1 lakh of rupees to pay up. Though he knows the insurance will pay him in the next 15 days or 30 days or 40 days, I'm giving him an interim loan kind of a mechanism. That's it.
So basically, what I understand is, from an insurance company point of view or a TPA point of view, even if the patient goes through V-Assist, or if the patient does not go through V-Assist, the total claim outgo for the insurance company is going to be the same.
Absolutely. 100%.
Whereas what used to happen with the aggregator model was that in the presence of aggregator, the claims used to increase. So
I'm
nobody
I'm not the right person to comment on that, because
I think Vineet sir also knows that, right?
Means
So-
I don't know what happened, but something like this must have happened, because I used to give my bills,
Sir, we will just
and the further processing was done by Pristine Care. But something
I
like
think
this must have happened. That's why.
that's a very hot discussion, sir. If we start on it, it's going to be a very big.
No, sir, that's what I'm saying. See, that is one thing which I also completely agree with the insurance companies because, that is something which is completely out of bounds, sir. That is not something which we would love to. I mean, even if I get to know if something like that is there, I would also not want to be associated. You get my point, no, sir, because I in a way favor the insurance companies more than anybody else because because insurance money is at the end of the day it's public money and we have to be the custodians of that. And I also like, for me, one more question you asked me, sir. For example, if the hospital is if it's like say overbilling, and if I can see blatantly it's overbilling, I would not be the person who will be funding those cases. And if I fund also, I might fund only say 30%, 40%, where I will give my reasoning saying that with my experience, with my understanding, I feel that the bills are on the higher side. And I will be very honest about that. So that is also something in a way, if you ask me, sir, insurance companies will agree with what we're trying to do is we also try to reduce the impact, sir, not increase the impact. Just because we are medically funding doesn't mean that, if you give me a bill of say 10 lakhs and say, okay, pay it, I will not pay it.
So you have your own level of due diligence.
101%, sir. Not only due diligence, we also have a whole medical team and we have an expert team who looks at the entire thing. And with our understanding, with this one, we also know how much is payable. So, for example, if you come with a cataract thing and suddenly tell me it's 3 lakh rupees, I mean, whichever lens you're going to use, I will say, okay, great, but I will only pay 20,000 or 30,000 funding. So then you'll say it doesn't make sense. It's okay. You getting my point? See, at the end of the day, what we have to also understand is that until unless we are not going to be reasonable and we are not going to be in that same space, it's not going to work. It has to be a win-win situation for everybody.
So how relevant is the patient's repayability? As you
Very
said,
much.
it's a loan. So if a person does not have, okay, now many cases what happens is the treatment is for the father and the person getting the father to the hospital is the son. The father may be 70-year-old farmer. If you look at the patient's entire repayability, it will not be there.
So, but in that case also, what we look at, who's the proposer, no, sir? In most of the cases, in those cases, the children will be the proposer, no, sir. So,
Okay.
for me, it is not the patient that is important, no, sir. Who is the person who will be getting the money from the insurance, and accordingly, who will be the person who will be repaying the amount for me? In that sense, we have also funded cases where even the policies holder is the father, but if the son or the daughter or the son-in-law is standing as a guarantor saying that I will pay it, I will give those cases.
Okay. So
See,
what?
I also have to have some guarantee that I'll get the money. See, at the end of the day, because it's a medical loan, I also take a lot of risk because sometimes we fund critical illness cases. So we think it will be a simpler thing. They'll come out of the surgery, and if something unfortunate happens, there's nobody answerable. So that is a risk that I hold. I know about it.
Okay. So I'd like to, there are, I think we have.
But we also do one more thing. So I'll tell you honestly, like sometimes what happens is that, the patient score might be very low, but the doctor will be very confident about the patient saying that I know this patient for the last 10 years, or I know the family, I can give you the assurance that they will pay you back. I mean, with those kind of assurance also we can fund.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, it's only funding, no, sir. I mean, see, if somebody is giving you that confidence, I mean, we can always take up those cases. We are not very rigid. See, at the end of the day, what we are telling is that, because there is an insurance that will pay. Now you're saying after the insurance pays and then he doesn't want to pay, that's
a risk to take.
That's a risk, yeah.
So just we have around 24 participants here.
Yes, sir.
Zoom side. So just wanted to open it, like anybody wants to ask a question, any clarifications to Mr. Harikrishnan, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask the question directly. Otherwise, you can even put a question in the chat box. You're welcome to it. Now, see, what about how much is your operations as of now? You are working basically, concentrated in South. I know you're based in Bangalore. So Bangalore is your main, clientele, if I can say.
Yeah, of course. Definitely our main clientele is Bangalore, but 2022 we moved into Hyderabad, and then Pune, Bombay, Delhi, now Chennai, Cochin, Vijayawada, Vizag. So the way we have created our technology platform today, we can take a case from a Shimoga to any small town in the country we can assist.
Hmm.
So we are not any more restricted as a Bangalore company. We are in true sense a pan India company today. So even if you give me a case from northeastern area to Rajasthan to Tamil Nadu, I can handle it. Yeah,
That's the beauty of tech.
that's the beauty of tech. Yeah, and we are trying to completely invest on tech in such a way that key things will be very very transparent and everybody will clearly understand what we are doing.
So just for being that I talk to a lot of hospitals. So just to be on the impartiality side, you are a player in this field. So which are the other players which are there who's performing the same services? Are there any major players?
They are. I mean, I don't know if it will be right of me to name them or not.
Okay.
I don't want
This is
to
not see, just wanted to
offend
say that
or. Huh?
this is not an industry which is like a single this thing. There are many players
There
already.
are, and there are very good players. Huh? They're very good players, and I see the professionalism and everything, and all of them are doing fantastic job. Only thing we need to differentiate from the player that doctor mentioned. Apart from that, there are a lot of other players who are very serious about what do you say, claim funding and assistance and the entire thing, and they're all doing a fantastic job. And it is they are most of them are new age companies which has brought in a lot of tech and come in from very very good healthcare and insurtech platforms. So they are revolutionizing the market. Yeah.
So basically, as long as any of these, uh, support companies, which I would say, does not interfere with the final billing and the, pricing of the patient and the final medical decision making of the patient, till then all is, I think we can allow them. But there are few companies which were interfering with the patient management and the billing. That is where the issues start up. That's when the insurance companies as well as TPA and even the doctors also will, feel that let's not work with them. See, the thing is, there is when any of these kind of companies come up, so always people do have the doubts. So the main idea of this session is to just to give a clarity on how, companies like this work.
Sir, I'll again give you the full clarity here, sir. See, now as a hospital, the expertise is in terms of giving the medical services, correct? And for the medical services that they have provided, they are the only rightful people to bill it. Nobody else. You're getting my point, sir. I am coming from the insurance side of it. I am only talking about from my patient, customer who has bought an insurance as per their terms and conditions, what is payable, what is not payable. These two should not get mixed up. The hospital should do the hospital job, the others should do the other job. So then there will be no confusion.
So here what I'm seeing is you are giving a funding based
Yes,
on
sir.
the guarantee of the insurance claim being passed.
Yes, sir.
So then I realize that if you have a tie-up with a hospital, the patient does not have an insurance, you will be able to fund directly according to the CIBIL score also.
Absolutely. We're doing that. That's a larger business that we are anyways doing. So
Okay.
a lot of the people who come for cosmetology surgeries or even for that matter, even for dental surgeries, we have a very, very large network. And there again, what do you say, EMI based, what do you say, format, again, no cost EMI, which works very well. And
Okay.
if people want to buy expensive lenses or they want hearing aids, so in all these spaces where it is, even PET scans and all those things also where they don't have to want to pay upfront, we can fund it.
So
Anywhere up to 5 lakhs we can fund.
so is there any minimum ticket size?
Minimum we look at about 20-25,000, sir, because at least viability in terms of processing it itself.
Okay.
And we go up to 5 lakhs. And with insurance as a backup, we have done funding even up to 25, 30, 35 lakhs also we have done.
Now, how much time do you take for the processing? Like if a patient comes to me today and I ask you to the patient has got either they go for insurance-backed funding or they go for direct funding, and I send you the documents. I connect the patient with your establishment, and how much time do you take for the process for the approval, and how much time do you take after the surgery and everything to release the payment to the hospital?
So the approvals can come within 2 to 3 hours,
Hmm.
and the payment to hospital will happen within 48 to 72 hours from discharge.
Okay. So here, when you say approval, it is basically your internal approval.
Yes.
It's
To
your
tell you whether we'll take the case or not.
Got it.
How in a cashless format you wait for the approval from the insurance company. So
Hmm.
so then the patient also can decide, right, whether they'll get the funding or not. Basis that if they're not getting the funding, then they have to do alternate arrangements.
Okay. Okay. So that's it. Vinit sir, anything else you would like to clarify?
No, sir. It's fine.
So I think we are taking around 40 minutes of Mr. Hari's time, and he's been very clear about the entire process. So I think in the absence of any more questions, I think no, because this is something which people are, a lot of people when I spoke to, they were not aware of the presence of such an option at
Yeah.
all. Like in Bombay and all, I think a lot of people don't do cashless.
Yeah.
So,
So I had once tied up with G Money. So
mm,
it's still there. G Money also provides similar thing, and I've done one patient like that. But I
mm,
had kept the poster of G Money in my waiting room also. But I've seen only one patient, like out of the whole year, one patient coming and asking me that they would want to go get such finance. So it was 2 years ago. Then it has not happened so much.
okay.
So what I feel is that some patients who want to do under cashless, they want to do under cashless only. They don't want this hanging thing that they will have to provide EMIs, or they want to do cashless means. So then they will go away even if I provide G Money. Some
Mm,
may do, but I have, in my experience, only one patient opted for it for the whole 1 year when the G Money poster was there in my reception.
mm,
Only one patient asked for that facility. Bakis, they would either choose reimbursement or this one. So,
mm. Maybe it depends on the availability of such,
and other than the
the
counseling, maybe I
hospital.
have also not counseled enough. Then this facility is available. That's also one thing.
Okay. So maybe counseling plays a big part in that. Because
Definitely, sir. I've seen that. Yeah.
I know hospitals who are working with VSS for quite some time, and good number of cases they're doing. That's how, see, I was in touch with Mr. Harikrishnan through one hospital only.
Mm. So
So,
the more has to come from our side that this facility is available.
yeah.
If we give
So,
the
so that is it. So anyway, sir, thank you for, spending your time, and this video will be available on YouTube anytime, and it will be available. So we'll give it a good, insight into it. Now, what we need to do is like, there are a lot of tier 2, tier 3 cities where people might not be aware about the insurance part in the first place. We recently had a patient, I'm in Hyderabad still. We had a patient who came asking for a basic manual surgery. Then we had to ask them कि भाई आपका बेटा क्या करता है, आपका बेटी क्या करता है. Then we realized that their kids are working in some company where they had insurance coverage. See, the thing is, people have insurance, they are not aware of it. Hospitals are not aware of the options. So there is a lot of lack in a gap here, which I see. So that is why we come out with these kind of things, and I think we should. Uh, one question is there from Mr. Amul Tawane. Can this be done in Nagpur, Maharashtra?
100%. So actually, we already have a hospital in Nagpur. I can get you the name. Yeah, but we are doing it in Nagpur as well. Nagpur, Nasik. We are
Oh,
already there. Yeah.
okay.
My number is there. You can just call me offline and I can help you with the entire process.
Definitely, definitely. So with this, I think we'll call the end of this meeting. And thank you, Vinny sir, for being present on the screen. And it's a pleasure meeting you.
yes.
Spoke over phone. We never met. So next time we come to Bombay, I'll take you
Sure,
up.
sir.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Arisa, and I think
Thank you, Dr. Hari.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.